My family hid a shocking secret about my wedding venue, and it broke us.
Was the secret that they suck?
I want to apologize for how long this ended up getting. It was cathartic for me to let it all out and explain my side, but I got a little carried away. I, 26 female, am getting married this year to my fiance, 27 male, who I've been with for 8 years. By the way, this comes from user Troubled Bride Throwaway, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK storytime subreddit. So, we have been engaged for a few years now. The initial venue we found was a state over and was owned by a friend of my bio father. My relationships with my bio father and his family have always been complicated, but at the time we were on good terms, and the venue was close to where they live, so I was hoping that would bring us closer. The venue was beautiful, and we were able to book most of our vendors through their preferred vendor network. We paid our $500 deposit, and we had it booked a year and a half before our initial wedding date. As we approached the 7-month mark, my fiance and I decided it would be best to put off the wedding for 1 more year so we could finish up college and have more time to save. We reached out to the venue owner, and he said he would pencil in a date change for us, no problem. During the call, I mentioned I was going to reach out to the other 2 preferred vendors we had booked, and the owner let them know that they no longer work with those vendors due to some disputes. He advised us to seek different vendors. He also said he would still love to work with us, though, and is happy we are still interested in having our wedding at their venue. That comment gave me a bit of a weird vibe, but I thanked him for the information and went to call my biofather's family to give them the heads up. My biofather's reaction at the time was a little weird. When we first booked the venue, he was so excited. He acted very proud that he was the one who made it happen by referring us to said venue, but on this call, he was like, "Oh, in that case, have you considered doing a different venue altogether? Maybe something closer to where you live currently?" I thought the change of pace was odd and uncharacteristic of him, but I didn't say anything at the time. I told him no and that I still liked the venue, and that was the end of that.
So he's trying to get OP to change her mind, but without actually telling her why.
Like, what happened here? What could have possibly happened?
Someone, they're operating an illegal substance lab.
I think there was some sort of incident that involved police, prison, maybe the coroner. I don't know. There could be something that really bad that happened. Now they've got a spooky ghost there.
I think so. It's haunted.
Freshly haunted. Now that we moved the date, I remembered a photographer that we really liked who was not available for our original date, and I decided to reach out to him to see if he was available for our new date. The photographer ended up sending us a response about a week later, essentially saying that he was available and would love to work with us, but he was not comfortable shooting at the venue, stating one of the owners is someone who has been involved in some pretty wildly inappropriate and illegal activities.
Okay. So that's why the owner emailed them and was like, "Wow, like I'm really appreciative that you like still want to work with us." That's why.
You're like, the photographer also let us know he wasn't judging us for using that venue, but was just not willing to associate his name with them. Needless to say, I was confused as so I responded, "Wait, what? Illegal activity? This is the first we're hearing of this, and now I'm a bit alarmed. What am I missing?" In the response I got, the vendor apologized for stirring things up and sent me a link with 2 articles. The first one was from 2020 and was about the owner, my bio father's friend.
Ooh.
It stated that he was caught and arrested in a CP sting trying to meet up with a minor who was a cop posing as one near a local school. The second one was actually for a close relative of my bio father's friend who was the co-owner of the venue. An article from 2024 stated he was arrested for unlawful use of a weapon, DUI, menacing, and criminal trespass after wastedly waving around a bang bang and threatening people unprovoked at a convenience store. I was shocked and horrified. I thanked the photographer and continued to do more research, and I uncovered some more really concerning reviews regarding the owner's conduct. I called my bio father to give him the heads up about his friend, and that was when he told me that they had known for over a week. I felt hurt that they hadn't said anything and expressed that, but also tried to empathize with them and said that I wish I could have heard from them. I understand that they didn't have much time to process the information either, and that the decision of whether or not to tell me would have put them in a hard spot. I said I just need a little bit of space to process the information, but that I am not mad just disappointed.
Kind of shocking that they only just learned about this like a week ago.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we don't know how long the bio father has been friends with these people, but like,
there's plenty of different ways that you could not know this about somebody who you've recently become friends with or recently met or whatever.
I don't understand, because I feel like, let's say bio father is friends with these people. They say bio's father's talking about how his daughter's getting married. The friend is like, oh, well, we have a wedding venue actually. The bio father doesn't look up any of this?
No.
I'm like, what?
Some people don't do any of that. Some people don't look stuff up.
I feel like this has got to be the first thing that would come up, you know? Like even if you were just looking up the website.
You could probably there's probably some kind of service you can pay to like push things down the Google search list.
Yeah.
You know, I have no idea though.
Weird.
I said I just needed a little bit of space to process the information, but then I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Oof. When I got off the phone, I went to share the news with my stepsister, who I considered a very close friend and was even one of my bridesmaids. I texted her saying, so might not be using the venue anymore. She responded with, yeah, why? I called her at this point because it was easier and said, because it sounds like the venue owner is a PDF file and the other venue owner is a 6-shooter wielding psycho. And her response was, oh, what drove you to that conclusion? I don't know about you, but I expected a very different reaction.
Yeah.
Her lack of surprise clued me in immediately, and I said, you already knew that, didn't you?
Yep.
Turns out, she had known for over a month and didn't say anything. To be honest, I wasn't surprised my bio father and stepmother didn't say anything, but I considered stepsister a very close friend, and it hurt my feelings a lot that she didn't say anything. I also found out that my bio father and stepmother knew at least a month beforehand, as my stepsister brought both articles to them when she found out, and they convinced her not to say anything. Why are they doing this? Are they?
I don't understand, because they don't want you. They didn't, like, your father tried to say, hey, I don't want you to, you know, maybe you should find a new venue. So I don't understand why they kept it a secret.
I mean, like, is it from a place of like, we don't want to ruin the wedding?
I don't know.
She liked the venue so much. We can separate the art from the artist.
That's so
weird. Or it's
weird.
like, yeah, the people who run this place are literal but
it's so weird.
The property is so nice. I don't know.
So weird.
I wouldn't want to support people who have this behavioral track record.
No.
I got off the phone because I was pretty upset and I didn't want to take it out on her, but I let her know that I didn't blame her and I still loved her. I just needed a little bit to collect my feelings. After that, she talked a bit more over text. She let me know that she really did want to tell me and that it was weighing on her a lot, but she was afraid because she didn't want to be cut off by the family. And her mother kept bullying her, telling her I would hate her for digging up dirt on my venue. She sent screenshots of the messages from them, which did in fact confirm her story. I told her I acknowledged that and that I just wish my feelings would have been considered first. I wish that I was given a choice and that you could have trusted me enough to come to me first. I ended the interaction by saying that I just needed to step away for a bit because my head was spinning, but that I still love and care about her. I didn't want to lash out at her, so I told her we could talk about it some other time and reassured her again that I still love her. She responded with, okay, love you. I'll be here when you're ready to talk. I'm sorry you've had a bad day and that this contributed to that. I thought that was the end of that, but not too long after this, I then get a message from my stepmom saying, just to be clear, I was not told that this man was a PDF file. I was told that the co-venue owner had a fight in a parking lot while wasted and he had a pew 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 with him or something like that. I would have never told anyone not to tell you the venue owner did that and to keep it a secret. I just didn't want your dream wedding to be ruined over a fight in a parking lot. Good night. I love you. To which I responded, I love you too. I just need some space for a while to cool down. Good night. Shortly after I sent that message, my bio father called me and told me my stepmother was freaking out about me being mad about the situation. Which people why can't people ever respect whatever, I just need a minute to cool off.
Yeah, OP is being so incredibly nice about this situation, especially when they all lied to her.
Yeah.
And OP's like, yeah, no, I get it. Just need a moment. And they're like, like, shut up, you know?
Yeah, just come on, man. He said I needed to message her and let her know I wasn't upset and that it wasn't her fault, so she would stop freaking out because it was bad for her health. To keep the peace, I ended up messaging her the following. Me, I'm not mad at you. I don't blame you for anything. I know you had good intentions. I just feel a bit humiliated that I had to find out from a photographer. I'm glad I found out before Save the Dates went out, because if anyone looked at the reviews and saw the part where it said, "And please, for the love of sanity, Google search the venue owner's full name, state, and city. This venue is not child friendly. It is not family friendly," I would have been mortified. Even more so if they did Google it and found the articles I did. I'm dealing with a lot of complicated emotions right now, and I wish I had been told by my family instead of finding out this way. It could have become a really bad situation, but I also understand it can be hard to broach the topic. I just need some time to process my thoughts. I'm not mad at you though, just my situation as a whole. I'm not mad at you at all. My biggest concern was the PDF file thing. I get how you would not want to ruin my day over a parking lot brawl. This was not my concern. I'm mostly hurt by the other part, and I know that you would have told me had you known. She responded with, "Okay, honey, and I'm not happy about this whole situation myself. I'm sure you're shocked and devastated. I don't know what to say, but this is exactly what I was hoping wasn't going to happen. I just didn't know the second piece of this and was getting really confused. Good night." After that, I sulked with my fiance for a while and then went to bed because I had to drive several hours for a work trip the next day. While I was driving, my bio father started blowing up my phone. Bio father said, "Good morning. Again, I'm truly sorry. I hope this doesn't create resentment towards us. We wanted to figure out how to approach you. Stepsister didn't say anything because I had asked her to let me deal with it. And again, stepmom was not aware. She did know beforehand, which was proven later in screenshots between her and stepsister, but at the time, I'm getting so much conflicting info that I didn't clock the timeline until later. We didn't want you to lose your deposit, and I was under the impression that you had put down $4,500 as a deposit, and we were devastated to think you would lose your deposit. No other venue lined up, and we had no clue how to fix it. Again, we had your best interest at heart, and we didn't know how to tell you without ruining your wedding."
This is
so much
frustrating.
It's so extra.
Literally could have said, "So, like, I'm so sorry. We made a bad call. We will do, whatever needs to be done to help you fix all of this mess." Could have just been that.
You just
and
say
instead
it
was like, "Oh, are you mad at us? Are you mad at us? I'm sorry. This was all the reasons. Here's all the excuses. Are you mad at us?" It's
You
like,
say,
oh, yes,
this
now
verbatim.
I am.
"I have bad news. You're not going to want to use your wedding anymore. Your wedding venue, you're not going to want to use it anymore." Go, "Why?" "Well, the venue owner has some extremely troubling behavior."
Boom.
Boom. Done. When I didn't respond because I was in and out of meetings, he forwarded me a message of his correspondence with my stepsister.
Oh my God.
It came through all as one text message, and I didn't have the time to read the whole thing until much later, but essentially it was them pressuring my sister not to say anything and pretty much bullying her into thinking I would hate her. She would be doing nothing but ruining everything I worked for if she told me. Then my bio father continues, "This is the conversation that occurred when we found out about the parking lot incident. After that was when I looked him up online and found the article. This will show you that we were all trying to figure out what to do, present this issue to you. This conversation happened on April the 9th. We didn't even have time to process it ourselves and try to figure out what to help you with. So all this that you wish your family would have told you and all you're embarrassed and all that, guess what? We were trying to look out for you. So if you can't see that, then that's on you."
And now they're blaming OP. Now it's circled back from an apology into just blaming OP. Dude, I would be like, "Hey, I really didn't care before. Please leave me alone."
What's that sound?
Dig in that
They're just
hole.
digging that hole
Yeah.
extra deep.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, we didn't know about the dirt, so we just kept digging."
And honestly, again, the solution is just go, "Oh my God, I just found out something that you're going to be upset about, but you have to know. It's true." Anyway, I admittedly did not read that whole text either until a while later, but I didn't want to make the situation worse, so I responded as quickly as I could with, "Hey, I'm just about to jump in a meeting. I was driving when your first message came through and have been in and out of appointments and meetings since, so I haven't had the time to respond, but I appreciate the apology, and I get y'all were looking out for me. Just needed a bit to process and plan the next steps. Love ya." To which he just responded by sending me his last paragraph again. Eventually, I was off work and called him, which basically turned into me apologizing for ever saying I was upset. And again, I thought that was the end of that. But then the next day, in the middle of dealing with a crisis at work, I randomly get a text from my stepmother saying, "You and stepsister's drama has now caused me great distress. I really don't want to hear from either of you. You guys really need to grow up. The way that you pretended that you didn't know stepsister knew just to trick her just shows that you're craving drama. I want no part of any of this anymore, and it has single-handedly destroyed my relationship with my family member. The news should have been handled in a mature way. You should have addressed the situation and been honest. Because of what you did, stepsister and I are at each other's throats, and our relationship is done. I won't talk to her ever again. Thank you." Me, what are you even talking about? I'm so lost and confused. Stepmother, you called stepsister and pretended you didn't know that she knew about the venue issue, and then at the end said, oh, but you knew, didn't you? And it's just not the mature way to handle things, and it has turned everyone against each other, trying to place blame. My relationship with her is now over. I really can't handle this stuff. I shouldn't even have been having to deal with this. I'm sick and now devastated. Stop it. You, the difficult one. Quit it. Stop it. You knew. He knew. You could have both said it earlier, and instead you said nothing, and it would have made OP look down the line like she supported a PDF file and didn't think he did anything wrong. Okay? That's all you, baby girl.
You're telling me that you're blaming OP for bullying your daughter?
You're like, my lies and deceit have been exposed by your truth. I hate you.
Talk to me because I bullied her over this.
It's crazy.
Turned her against me.
You have done that yourself. I ended up going out to my car and calling her to ask what the heck's going on and try to smooth things over. She yelled and cried about how my stepsister and I are ruining her life and her reputation with our drama and how she is the victim in all this. She said I should have handled the situation maturely. I was literally just coming out of a work call that essentially told me that my position, which I worked years to get into and was even in the process of relocating for, was being eliminated. I would either have to accept a demotion or be laid off when all the messages from my stepmother started flooding in. I just didn't have the capacity to deal with this drama on top of that. So when she started laying into me, I started crying hysterically. I honestly just wanted the situation to be over. I felt like my world was crumbling and I was on the edge of a cliff. I cried, saying I didn't even care about the stupid wedding venue anymore, that I was over it and wish we could just drop the whole thing and move forward. I essentially just got a brief, sorry that happened to you. And then she continued on about how evil my stepsister is and how she's so sick about the situation and its effect on her health. I told her I had to go, and I called my bio father. I left him a message saying, I don't know what's going on between him, stepsister, and stepmom, but I can't handle all the drama of it right now. If he could just set the nonsense aside and be a goddamn father to me for 5 effing seconds, I feel like drowning right now, and I really needed some support. I said all this while still bawling. He called back a minute later and immediately started in about, how dare you speak to me that way? Brother, she teed you up. She gave you the juiciest little underhand toss for you to hit right out of the park, and instead you took the bat and you smacked her with it. That's not cool.
Teeing them up.
Crazy.
She said multiple times, like, yeah, I totally get it. Not mad at you. Just, was a little bit disappointed. And they're like, shut up. Just take the win, man.
And just in a voice like,
I guess take the L.
How dare you speak to me that way? You're just a little boy. You're just a little boy. He went into a lecture about, he is my father, and I need to treat him with respect. I just quietly cried to myself, zoning out while he was ranting until he finally said, okay, so what's going on?
The switch up is insane.
These people are emotionally uncentered.
Crazy.
By that point, I felt so devastated and numb, I just monotonously explained what was said in the work call as briefly as I could and told him I had to go and thanked him for calling me. I came to a hard realization in that moment, one that I had always known but never wanted to truly admit to myself. I could be on the edge of a cliff ready to jump, but if it came between me and his ego, my bio father would push me off. He gave you the old Thanos Gamora. That's when I decided I needed to emotionally distance myself from that side of the family. I kept contact and still spoke with my bio father so that I could remain in my little brother's life, but I kept the conversations mostly about work and game plans for dealing with his situation. It was the easiest thing to talk about because my bio father liked to give his opinion and it has a bit of a savior complex. So these conversations allowed me to stay as emotionally distant as possible while still able to keep the peace. Giving him updates on my job search gave me the excuse to contact him just enough that he and his wife would not start the resentment campaign that they do when someone doesn't contact them in a few weeks, while also showing I was busy enough that I had a valid excuse for not driving the 5 hours one way to visit them anytime I had free time. Even more drama erupted after this, which would honestly have to be a whole different post, but I just slowly stopped reaching out. Then I noticed they both unfriended me on Facebook, and I decided to put them on an information diet by blocking them. I ended up keeping contact to just birthdays and holidays, always me messaging them first, and occasionally my bio father would respond with a "you too." I cried when my birthday passed and I didn't get so much as a happy birthday. I wasn't surprised, but it still hurt. And like, honestly, these, in the parent-child relationship, it's like, I feel like the mending of it is like, it falls within the realm of the parent.
Absolutely.
To begin
and also,
the mend.
especially when they freaking started all of it.
Yeah, if you don't have the awareness or that there even is something to mend, then it's like, what are you,
Especially when you tried
got to work on that.
You tried to mend such a minor situation, and then they made it into like a freaking world-ending argument.
Yeah, and they just turned it into, nuh-uh. Actually, this is all your fault now. This is actually mostly your fault, and this is exactly what we thought was going to happen if we told you, which is why we didn't want to. And it's like, Dad, why is your friend a PDF file? Why are you not telling me that? Why are you not telling me that your friend is
at the end of the day
a fan of the Adobe file format system?
Yeah. Weirdo.
And now here we are.
So true.
We found a new venue, and I'm agonizing on whether or not to send them a save the date. And by the way, you can save the date. It's today and tomorrow and the day after that. And that's the days every day that we add new episodes with stories just like this. All you got to do is go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio and search OK Storytime. And there you will have a treat for the senses.
A treasure trove of stories.
A treasure trove. Great snakes, you'll say, because great googly moogly. There's so many stories in there.
Great.
We have a little bit more story left, and I've finished cooking. So, do we have anything to add here?
No, I think you just don't need to send them a save the day. They have shown you tried to smooth that situation over so many times, only for them to literally make it 10 times worse and then blame it all on you. So I think for peace of mind, you do not have to invite them.
Yeah, and then they blocked you on Facebook like they're 12 years old.
Weirdos.
Crazy.
Weirdos.
That is crazy. Yes, I know I have people pleaser syndrome. I've been working on upping my calcium for my backbone and cutting the BS from my diet, but it's been hard, doctor. I keep reflecting on all that had happened and how this incident really pushed a lot of it into motion. The thing is, I feel like I really did handle it in a mature manner. I let them know I was disappointed and needed space, but tried so hard to keep the peace, and everything just snowballed there from nothing. So I ask, am I the a-hole for expressing my disappointment? Should I still invite them to the wedding?
Oh.
If I don't, it would be drawing a line in the sand that I can't come back from. Your dad
drew the line.
Your dad unfriended you from Facebook.
Yeah, that's a line that they've already drawn. You're just
pathetic
upholding
little
a boundary.
baby boy line, and
you're upholding the line. You're not drawing it.
You're playing with their rules.
Yeah.
So if they feel like they missed out, and you go, dang, I would have invited you, but I couldn't send you your Facebook invite.
Couldn't find you.
You probably could have seen everything you needed to see on my Facebook. Yeah, but since you blocked me, I guess you can't really see that.
I guess that's it.
I didn't know people like to go to the weddings of people they've blocked.
Yeah. But that's the end of that story.